The Battle of Chibi hindered the unification process in China. What should the ambitious Cao Cao do next? What test will the Sun-Lu alliance face? What measures will various countries take? In war-torn China, continues to fight amidst division, or will a brief peace emerge? After the Battle of Chibi, Cao Cao retreated to Shudu, adopting a proactive defensive strategy against the Sun and Lu families. The generals in Guangzhou at that time only superficially pledged allegiance to the Han court, to consolidate the rear and eliminate worries. Cao Cao, under the pretext of attacking Zhonglu and Hanzhong, marched into Guangzhou. This action immediately met armed resistance from the warlords in Guangzhou led by Han Sui and Ma Chao. Cao Cao then launched a campaign against them in the name of the central government. Starting from the 16th year of Jianan, 211 AD, Zhong, Xiahou Yuan advanced into Guangzhou. Until the 20th year of Jianan, Han Sui died and Ma Chao fled. Cao Cao basically pacified Hanzhong. But why couldn't Cao Cao take advantage to enter Izhou from Hanzhong, and then move east from Izhou to unify the world? At that time, Hejian Commandery, in the southeast of Xian County, Hebei Province today, a peasant uprising suddenly broke out, forcing Cao Cao to return to the Central Plains first, to prepare to return to Hanzhou. After quelling the rebellion, who would have thought Liu Bei seized the opportunity and preemptively took over Izhou? The local forces in Bashu and the outsider Liu Zhang faction have always had deep-seated conflicts. They hoped to overthrow Liu Zhang's rule with external help. So, the local faction represented by Zhang Song advised Liu Zhang to borrow troops from Liu Bei to resist Zhang Lu's expansion of the 5 pecks of rice Dao in Hanzhou. After Liu Bei entered Izhou, Liu Zhang allocated many resources to Liu Bei to help Liu Bei attack Zhonglu. But when Liu Bei reached Ming, present-day Guangyuan, Sichuan, he no longer advanced and stayed for a year. After Liu Zhang saw through their intentions, he immediately executed Zhang Song and cut off ties with Liu Bei. Liu Bei then led his troops to capture Fuxian, Mianzhu, and Luoqing, and eventually surrounded Chengdu. Zhuge Liang also led Zhang Fei and Zhao Yun, entered Izhou through the waterway, met up with Liu Bei in Chengdu. Seeing the situation turning unfavorable, Liu Zhang surrendered the city. However, Liu Bei's control over Izhou was unstable. Just then, there were changes in Jingzhou. Sun Quan, who had an alliance with Liu Bei, saw him take over Izhou and demanded the return of Jingzhou. In the summer of the 20th year of Jianan, sent troops to seize Changsha, Guiyang, and Lingling counties, and requested Guanyu to yield Nanjun. Upon hearing the news, Liu Bei rushed to Gongan to negotiate with Sun Quan. Meanwhile, Cao Cao was advancing towards Hanzhou. Fearing the loss of Izhou, Liu Bei agreed to split Jingzhou. At the same time, Sun Quan promised to attack Hanzhou with Liu Bei, coordinating to attack Hefei held by Chao Wei in support of Liu Bei. Hanzhong can be called the throat of Izhou. withdrawing the main forces from Hanzhong. Liu Bei immediately launched an offensive. Until the 24th year of Jian'an, Liu Bei occupied Dingjun Mountain. General Huang Zhong killed Wei's General Xiahou Yuan. Cao Cao then rushed to Nanjing, recalling all troops from Hanzhong to Guangzhou, moving the defense line against Liu Bei back. The reason why Cao Cao did not engage with Liu Bei in Hanzhong was because Guan Yu was leading troops from Jiangling to disturb Xiangfan. Sun Quan also temporarily cooperated with the Shu forces to attack Hefei. If he insisted on contending for Hanzhong, it could lead to significant military disadvantages. So how would Cao Cao, who was returned to the Central Plains, eliminate the threat on the main battlefield? Under the persuasion of Sima Yi and Jiang Ji, Cao Cao took advantage of the conflicts arising from the ownership of Jingzhou between Sun and Liu to actively show goodwill towards Sun Quan, offer to see Jiangnan to confer power within the Jiangdong faction, holding the natural defenses of the Yangtze River. Upon receiving news from Cao Wei, Sun Quan had no worries and expressed willingness to ambush Guan Yu. Cao Cao immediately sent word to the besieged soldiers in Fancheng and began planning a counterattack. Soon, Lu Ming successfully ambushed and killed Guan Yu. The Jiangdong faction secured the natural defenses of the Yangtze River. Cao Cao eliminated the threat to Xiangfan. But for Liu Bei, losing Jingzhou was a setback. Thereafter, only the northern expedition of Qin Chuan was possible. Zhuge Liang's plan for a pincer attack at Longzhong was aborted. From then on, in the first month of the 25th year of Jian'an, the siege of Xiangfan was lifted. Cao Cao returned to Luoyang. He died of illness on the 23rd day of the first month. Cao Cao was enfeoffed as King of Wei in the 21st year of Jian'an. In the 24th year of Jian'an, after Liu Bei captured Hanzhong, he proclaimed himself King of Hanzhong and challenged Cao Cao, asserting his identity as a kinsman of the Han dynasty. The land where Emperor Gaozu Liu Bang was first enfeoffed was Hanzhong. The implications are self-evident. In the months leading up to Cao Cao's death, Sun Quan had advised him to become emperor, and his ministers also urged him. But Cao Cao replied, "If it is heaven's will, I shall be king one of Zhou," implying that even if the time was right, he would not become emperor himself, but would leave it to his descendants. As expected, Cao Cao passed away in the first month. He changed the state's name to Wei and established the capital in Luoyang. To proclaim the continuation of the Han dynasty's legitimacy, historically known as Shu Han, established its capital in Chengdu. After declaring himself emperor, Liu Bei did not immediately attack Cao Wei, which had usurped the Han dynasty, but instead turned his forces eastward to subdue Sun Quan, who had seized Jing province by force. In the year 221 AD, Liu Bei personally led his army eastward. Sun Quan of Wu appointed Liu Sun as the Grand Commander to lead 50,000 troops to confront them. The Shu forces initially achieved victory in battle. Liu Sun analyzed the situation of both sides and boldly retreated to lure the enemy deeper in. before concentrating his forces to strike back, waiting for the Shu forces to become exhausted, and then decisively defeated them with a well-timed fire attack. Meanwhile, Liu Bei's forces underestimated the enemy, abandoning advantageous terrain and positioning their troops unfavorably in the mountains for battle, while also setting up camp in the jungle, giving an opportunity to the Wu forces, and ultimately being defeated by Lu Xun's fire attack. This is the famous Battle of Yiling in history. The Battle of Yiling resulted in a balance of power between Wu and Shu, while also maintaining a stalemate with the Wei Kingdom. Therefore, in the following decades, the territories of Wei, Shu, and Wu remained relatively unchanged. That's why the Battle of Yiling led to the formation of the Three Kingdoms tripartite situation and laid the foundation. In the year 222 AD, Sun Quan was granted the title of King of Wu by Wei, thus officially establishing the tripartite situation. How could the relatively weaker Shu and Wu stand on equal footing against the powerful Wei? What led to this balance of power? The development of Shu benefited mainly from Zhuge Liang's correct strategy of engaging the western tribes and pacifying the southern barbarians, while forming alliances with Sun Quan and focusing on internal governance. After the Battle of Yiling, Shu suffered a devastating defeat, leading to Liu Bei's death out of sorrow and resentment, turning Wu and Shu into enemies. However, Zhuge Liang prioritized the bigger picture and persisted in reconciling with Wu to resist the mighty Wei. He also focused on strengthening the conquest of the southwestern minority tribes and consolidating Shu Han's control over Izhou, a land of fertile plains known as the Land of Abundance. Despite its richness, mobilizing armies of over 100,000 to confront Wei in the long term remained challenging. Moreover, the minority tribes residing in the southwest did not pay taxes or serve Shu Han. Before his death, Liu Bei declared himself king in Yi province and formed an alliance with Eastern Wu by killing the commandant Zheng Ong in Yongchang County. Meanwhile, Yong Jian also instigated Menghua from the same county to spread rumors and sow discord among the ethnic groups. After Zhuge Liang took power, taking advantage of the alliance with Eastern Wu, he marched south with his troops. On one hand, it was to eliminate the worries of the northern expeditions, while on the other hand, it was to acquire resources from the south-central region, to supplement and expand the military strength of Shu Han. In the spring of 225 AD, Zhuge Liang launched a southern campaign, appointing Ma Zhong as the prefect of Kun. Leading a detachment to pacify the local rebellion, Ma Zhong successfully quelled the uprising and eliminated Zhu Bao. He then ordered Li Hui to attack Jianing County from Pingyi. Li Hui defeated the enemy in Kunming and led his troops south to Panjiang to meet up with Ma Zhong's forces. Meanwhile, as Zhuge Liang's army advanced south, Yong Jian was killed by Gao Ding's troops. Upon the army's arrival, they engaged in continuous battles and victories, defeating Gao Ding. Only Menghua, the remaining subordinate of Yong Jian, was left to be captured. In order to subdue Menghua, legend has it that Zhuge Liang captured and released Menghua 7 times, and eventually pacified the south-central region. After pacifying the south-central region, Zhuge Liang extensively employed the upper echelons of minority tribes to stabilize the situation and absorb some people to serve in the central government. Meng Huo was appointed as the deputy imperial censor. While obtaining resources and troops, Zhuge Liang also brought the feudal relationships of the Central Plains to the ethnic minorities in the southwest. Conquering the south for the Shu Han regime's northern expeditions laid the political and economic foundation. Under Zhuge Liang's governance, the strength of Shu gradually grew. So, what was the situation in Eastern Wu? The development of Eastern Wu benefited from the migration of people from the Central Plains, and also through campaigns against the Shangyue people, acquired a large population. Initially, Jiangnan was a wilderness, relatively undeveloped and backward. It was not until the end of the Eastern Han Dynasty that the ox plow technology spread from the Yellow River to the Yangtze River. In the late Eastern Han period, there was chaos among the local officials. More and more refugees from the north began to cross the river. They brought advanced production tools and techniques, and also brought a large amount of labor, which played an important role in promoting the development of Eastern Wu. In addition, in today's southern Anhui, Zhejiang, western Jiangxi, Fujian, and other places, there are many ethnic minorities known as the Shangyue. They have always lived in village communities. After the establishment of Dongwu, in order to seize village land, they were turned into subordinate farmers on the cultivated land, forced the Shangyue to serve and pay taxes. This continued until the year 237 AD. This action led Dongwu to plunder a large number of people, replenishing its troops and labor force, allowing it to engage in long-term confrontation with Chaowei along the Jianghuai line. It was the development of the south by Wu and Shu that basically balanced the strength among the three kingdoms. So, starting from 220 AD when Chao Pai declared himself emperor, until Dongwu was conquered in 280 AD, the situation of the three-legged tripod lasted for 60 years. From the division of the princes to the tripartite confrontation, although wars of annexation continued, the rulers of the three kingdoms paid more attention to social and economic development and the stability of social order, thus propelling the development of Chinese history towards unification.